Okay. Those business decisions are being made. 15 years ago, another business decision was made. It came up during our draft of the all-time best NFL or most memorable, whatever it was, business decisions. Eli Manning making a power play with no leverage. He had no John Elway leverage that I'll go play baseball. He had the leverage of nothing. I don't want to play for you. Then San Diego Chargers. I want to play for somebody else. Chargers draft him. The Giants draft Phillip Rivers. They do the flip-flop, those great pictures, awkward pictures of Eli with just like this dopey look on his face, holding up the jersey with the San Diego Chargers hat.
Right.
But here's the thing. You know, we talk so much about Antonio Brown giving players more power by what he did this year. When will another incoming player, and it's got to be a quarterback to pull it off.
Yes, it seems that way.
Because you need your quarterback to be all in.
Right.
And if your quarterback's not all in, you shouldn't want him.
Yep.
If a team holds the first pick, let's say Kyler Murray wanted nothing to do with the Cardinals, and the Cardinals were all over him. Let's take Josh Rosen out of the mix. The Cardinals want him. He doesn't want to play for the Cardinals. When is somebody going to be in that position and say, I don't want to play for you? Now, maybe there are some discussions behind the scenes. What's wrong with coming out and saying, hey, look, I understand there's a draft here, but let me tell you, here's who I want to play for. Anybody else, don't bother.
Right.
I can't wait for somebody to do that. Now, you got to be one of the top prospects.
Yeah, definitely.
And you got to be wired a certain way.
Right.
But why not? Why not come out? I'd love that. I would absolutely love it if somebody said, and I thought Kyler Murray would do it because he could say, I'll play baseball instead.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to do it, but I hope that there is a guy who does it and it becomes an option for the top prospects so they can pick where they're going to play. I still don't like that guys get picked where they're going to play. I think the players should have more of a role in where they end up.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, to the topic, like Eli Manning, yeah, that was a special situation. That was a big-time move. John Elway, he did the same thing. It is kind of crazy that we don't see it more often. I guess what I would go with the Eli Manning situation, too, you know, there's not as many people or usually guys coming out in the draft don't have the, you know, connections, the bloodlines the Mannings have, the overall feel and knowledge in the NFL to make some of those decisions.
And to even know that the Chargers were a team you don't want to play for.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, you know, hey, Peyton's in the league. Archie was around the league for a long, long time. So they understood there was aspects of the Chargers that they did not like. But I think for the most part, yeah, a lot of these guys didn't have fathers that played in the NFL or a bigger brother that are playing in the NFL, and they don't know some of the inner workings or the dysfunctions that some teams have compared to the others. Probably the main reason I would think that doesn't happen. But, I mean, it is amazing that it's been that long that it's happened. It's kind of shocking. Like, I thought of, like, Carson Palmer, too. Like, I wonder if he thought about that with the Bengals. At least maybe, you know, drawing a line in the sand.
He eventually did.
He did eventually. All right, so that's why my mind went there. But we've heard nothing of the sort since Eli Manning of anybody dabbling in this.
And I've had a thought here, and at the risk of agreeing with Richard Sherman as it relates to players representing themselves, and I don't believe that's the case, but there is one inherent problem with the fee-based percentage or the percentage-based fee. Because if you are representing a guy and you get paid solely based upon how much money they get, your incentive is to get them drafted as high as possible, regardless of what team it is. So if the team with the #1 pick wants your guy, you want your guy to go there even if he doesn't. So even if you know some things, this is where the conflict of interest arises.
Right.
Even if you know some things because you've been doing it for 30 years and you've heard, like, it's very dysfunctional there.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, I'll have a client who was the first overall pick,
exactly,
and I get 3% of a bigger contract,
exactly.
And you know, so that temptation could be there if it's a percentage-based fee to not intervene the way that Archie Manning most likely intervened and said, or Peyton intervened and said, "Hey, Eli, you won't want anything to do with the Chargers."
Very good point. Yeah.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why it doesn't happen.
Right, right.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.